friends, this is Kristen from the Pros and Cons team, and today I'm really excited to talk to you about the pros and cons of having a real Christmas tree versus an artificial Christmas tree. So to start off, growing up, I had a real Christmas tree, and then when I went to college, some of my roommates had an artificial Christmas tree, and so I've had a little bit of both, and I want to talk about the pros and cons. So to start off with, the pros of having a real tree is they smell amazing. I love the smell of pine in my house, and it makes the Christmas season come in with a bang. Like, I love that smell of the pine tree. Another great thing about the pros is that you get to make a family tradition to go and get a Christmas tree every year, and it's really fun to pick out what tree you're going to have. And some years you may want a really big tree, other years you may want a small tree, and it's super great because you can change it up of what type of tree you want every year. Another great thing is my family would always do a bonfire in the spring and burn like a Christmas tree, either like that had been out for like a year or so. And it was fun to burn the old Christmas trees and have hot dogs, and it was a really great thing. But I understand that not everybody can do that. And now, when me and my husband buy a real tree, we have a spot that we can donate it to. Okay, so moving on to some of the cons. Transporting a Christmas tree from where you buy it is really hard if you do not have a truck or some bigger vehicle to put it on. And I have had it where we put it in a vehicle, but then you have to vacuum out all these pine needles everywhere. Also, it is more messy. Every time when you take out the Christmas tree, you'll notice there is tons of pine needles everywhere, and because it's drying out over the month or however long you have it out, then you are going to have more pine needles. So that is a definite con. Another thing is you can have Christmas tree fails. I don't know. There was one year we just got a Christmas tree and it just liked to topple over. I don't know. It was just top heavy, and I remember it falling over so many times, and you have to water it and to try to keep it semi alive. So that is another thing. And you're cutting down a tree every time to get a Christmas tree. And so that is some of the cons. Also, it can add up price wise. So it is probably a little bit cheaper. Well, it depends on where you get the tree. They can range different prices, but you could possibly get a cheaper one than an artificial one. But then you're getting it every year. So like an artificial over time is most likely going to be cheaper, just depending, I guess, on what option you choose. Okay, some of the pros of an artificial is that you don't have to clean up after it. You can just set it up whenever. You don't need to plan a time to go and shop for your perfect tree, and it lasts several years. And usually the lights are already on the tree. You don't need to worry about getting lights and stringing them around. And so there are a bunch of things that are really nice that way. Okay, a con that I really don't like with an artificial tree is you have to store it. So you take it out for, I don't know, a couple weeks to a month or so, maybe a little longer, and then you have to store it and find a spot to put it. And I don't like that. Another thing is they can look really fake and just not as homey. And maybe that's like, for me, because that was something I grew up with, it is really was an important part of Christmas. So I guess if you don't have that association with Christmas, then yes, it can be just a great way to celebrate and not to cut down a tree, just to have an artificial one. So these are some of the pros and cons that I've thought of. If there are additional pros and cons that you would like to add, please leave them in the comments below, and you can check out more pros and cons linked in the description below. I hope you have a great day. Bye.